I was on a plane. I was coming from overseas, and I don't know how this guy got a machine gun on the plane, but he stood up, man. He said, "Everybody, get on the fucking ground! Nobody look at my face!" I started freaking out. Because he was Chinese, I was like, why is he talking like that? He was screaming and crying. I was the only brother on the plane. Well, I thought I was the only brother. I looked over, there was one other black dude. He was from Nigeria. I looked over at him, he was looking right in my face, man. He didn't say 2 words to me, he just looked at me, he was like... He didn't need to talk, I knew just what he was talking about. I looked right back at him, I was like... Some white dudes on the front of the plane seen us, they were like, "Oh my God. I think those black guys are gonna try to save us." We were just communicating that we understood the situation. We were both seeing the same thing. What we understood was simple. Terrorists don't take black hostages. That's the truth. I have yet to see one of us on the news reading a hostage letter and shit. They is treating us good. We all chilling and shit. I'd like to give a shout out to Ray Ray and Big Steve and Simpson Newport. You're not gonna see it. Terrorists are smart. They know what they're doing there, you know. They terrorists. They know it's black people's bad bargaining chips. They called the White House. "Hello? We have got 5 black... Hello?
Really some scary shit. I gotta tell you, Harvey Weinstein's probably the first person that I ever looked at a photograph of and was like, yeah, he rapes. I'm not sure this motherfucker has a choice. Not a handsome man, not a lot of meat and extra skin on his face. Yeah, he's ugly. You know the sad part is, he's done so well in life, he probably doesn't know he's ugly. You know, when you're good looking, everybody will tell you, "Oh, you look wonderful, you're so great looking." But when you're ugly, you gotta figure that shit out for yourself. It's a lot of putting clues together through the years. Why am I not getting in the club? I got all the right shit on. If it was Brad Pitt doing that shit, he wouldn't have heard a peep. The girl would just come back down like, "I got the part." Yuck! Yet, it is important that I acknowledge, ladies, you are absolutely right. There you go. They gotta all be mindful of that, guys, because this could happen to any of us. It could happen to me. I can see that. I can see myself showing up. Hi, I'm here for my 3 a.m. with Mr. Weinstein. Hey, Harvey, I got your text. I'm here to talk about the script. Seems like it's gonna be hard to read in candlelight, but I guess I could try. Sound like a fucking nightmare. Could you imagine that shit? Could you imagine if you was in a business meeting and a motherfucker pulled their dick out? In the middle of the meeting, I'd be like, yo, my man, this is the most unprofessional shit I've ever seen in all my days. Just let me finish, Dave Chappelle. I'll put you in all 3 Lord of the Rings. Hurry up, nigga. I have other meetings now. I have a 4:30 a.m. at Brett Ratner's house. And, I believe it's wardrobe fitting.
You gotta make life interesting like that, because the shit is flimsy. Life is flimsy. You think you're gonna live forever, you ain't not gonna live forever. It's dangerous out here. We know what's going on. I travel now, you know. I used to think DC had the roughest ghettos in the country. Nah, nigga, I have seen some shit now. Oh, there's some rough areas outside of DC. Yeah, everybody should go to the ghetto. I was taken to the ghetto one time. That's the worst. When you get taken and you're not expecting to go. You know, usually you want to know when you're going to the ghetto, like, I'm going to see some wild shit. I got to prepare myself. I'm going to see something crazy. When you're taken, it's different. I had a limousine driver. It was after a show. It was late at night. It was like 3 in the morning. I had a limousine driver. He was a nice guy, talking to me and shit. Oh, hey, where you from, dog? DC? Word? That's a rough city, man. And his cell phone started ringing. Hold on 1 second. Hello? Oh, what's up, nigga? What? What the fuck? Slow down. What? What the fuck? No! 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 Fuck that, nigga. Fuck it. I'm on my way. Hey. I gotta make a stop real quick. At 3 o'clock in the morning. I didn't know he was taking me to the ghetto at first. I started looking out the window. I was like, what the fuck? It's gun store, liquor store, gun store. Where the fuck are you taking me? This don't look good. He didn't say shit. He just pulled up in front of an old rickety building that looked like a project. Now, I'd never been there before. I'm not sure if it was a project, but it certainly had all the familiar symptoms of a project. A fucking crackhead ran this way. And then another one jumped out of a tree and shit. And I said, I'll be right back. And left me. Took the keys with him and just left me. At 3 o'clock in the morning, in front of a project, in a fucking limousine. This was not good. I was like, man, I gotta look around and see if I can see some landmarks and figure out where I'm at. Might have to escape on foot. Now, this is when I knew I was in a bad neighborhood. You only see this in the worst neighborhoods. Remember, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. I look out the window. It was a fucking baby standing on a corner. Look at this. And the baby didn't even look scared. He was just standing there. I mean, it made me sad. It made me sad, really. You know what I mean? Because I wanted to help the baby. I was like, I don't trust you either. I'm sorry. Click. Click. The old baby on the corner trick, eh? I'm not gonna fall for that shit. Where's this limousine driver? You know, I start feeling bad. As time goes by, I start feeling worse. Like, man, what is wrong with me? What the hell's wrong? I'm scared of a baby. And this baby could be in trouble. He might need my help. I got to do something. But I wasn't going to get out the car. I'm serious, man. I just cracked the window a little bit. There's an old limousine. I can roll it down. Hey, baby. Baby, go home, man. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. What the fuck are you doing up? The baby said, I'm selling weed, nigga. I said, oh, shit. I wasn't expecting that. I'm serious. I had to buy 2 bags from him to calm my nerves. Let me get 2 corners. Got back in the car and rolled me a joint, man. So, that shit was scary, man. Every once in a while, like a crackhead would come up to the car and look in the window. It was like Jurassic Park and shit. He'd be looking on the car. Hey, get out of here, cracky. That baby was still standing there, man. Then I started feeling bad again. Yeah, weed make you feel guilty sometimes, you know. Man, what is wrong with me, man? I have just bought weed from an infant. I can't condone this kind of behavior. What am I thinking? I can't let the fear ruin my morals. Gotta do something. Hey, baby. Stop selling weed, all right? You got your whole life ahead of you. He said, fuck you, nigga, I got kids to feed. I said, God damn. Sam. And just at that very moment, one of the crackheads was running across the street and got hit by a car. I know it was a hit and run. The police did it. That's all right, they sprinkled some crack on him, he got back up. I almost protested the war in the beginning. Almost. Until I saw what happened to them Dixie chicks. I said, fuck that. If they'll do that to 3 white women, they will tear my black ass to pieces. I don't want to hear that shit. Yeah, man, they would. But I'm like, for real, why you care so much what the Dixie chicks say? It's not like they political scientists or nothing. They just bitches that can sing good. You know what I mean? Stop worshiping celebrities so much. Just don't listen, don't pay attention. I remember right around September 11th, Ja Rule was on MTV. That's what they said. We got Ja Rule on the phone. Let's see what Ja's thoughts are on this tragedy. Who gives a fuck what Ja Rule thinks at a time like this, nigga? This is ridiculous. I don't want to dance. I'm scared to death. I want some answers that Ja Rule might not have right now. You think when bad shit happens to me, I'll be in the crib like, oh my God, this is terrible. Could somebody please find Ja Rule, get hold of this motherfucker so I can make sense of all this. Where is Ja? Guide me, Ja Rule. Yeah, I've been seeing that kind of shit, man. It's what it is. They use the TV to program us from a young age. You ever watch like a cartoon that you used to watch when you were little as an adult? That shit is wild shit. It's some wild shit. I mean, like I was with my nephew. We sitting there, we watching Pepe Le Pew, and I say to my nephew, I say, now pay attention to this guy because he's funny. I used to watch him when I was little. And then we watched Pepe Le Pew, and I'm old now. I'm looking like, good God, what kind of fucking rapist is this guy? Like, take it easy, Pepe. My nephew was sitting there cracking up. Hee. See, sometimes you gotta take the pussy like Pepe. Like, no. I had to turn the channel real quick. I turned on Sesame Street. I said, oh, Sesame Street. This is much better because now he'll learn how to count and spell. But now I'm watching it as an adult and I realize Sesame Street teaches kids other things. It teaches kids how to judge people and label people. That's right. They got a character on there named Oscar. They treat this guy like shit the entire show. They judge him right in his face. Oscar, you are so mean. Isn't he, kids? Yeah, Oscar. You're a grouch. It's like, bitch, I live in a fucking trash can. I'm the poorest motherfucker on Sesame Street. Nobody's helping me. Then you wonder why your kids grow up and step over homeless people. Get it together, grouch. Get a job, grouch. So don't even tell me how to get to Sesame Street. That is a terrible place. I wouldn't go there if I knew the way. Who would want to live in a neighborhood like that? Fucking 6-foot pigeons walking around. And an elephant that's a junkie. Hi, bird. Yeah, that's right, Snuffy. Hi, bird, I'm sick. I need some smack bird. Then Cookie Monster with his eyes popping out his head, screaming, cookie, 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 like, ugh. What kind of cookies are you talking about? Chocolate chips don't do that to people. And then they had the nerve to put a pimp on there. They didn't come out and say he's a pimp, but I know a pimp when I see one. They called him the Count. Had a cape and everything. You just see him pimping, bitch, where is my money? You've been late 4 times, I've been counting. How many times must I smack you before you act right? 1, 2 smacks. That's what I'm waiting for, because the timing of this Michael Jackson shit is what makes me doubt it. Every time there's wars going out of control, or the economy gets bad, or something is wrong with the world at large, it's always these moments in history that Michael Jackson will coincidentally jerk off a kid. This is getting ridiculous. Like, are you planning this shit? Do you have meetings? Michael, thank you for coming. As you know, Michael, the war has not been going as well as we expected. There's been a lot of hiccups, and the public is asking us a lot of questions, of course. And, well, Michael, there's no nice way to say this, and all I know how to do is be direct, so let me just be direct. We're gonna need you to jerk off another child, Mike. I'm sorry. I am sorry. But it would really help out. Or maybe he did it. Who knows? Who knows? That's the thing. That's what I wanted to say. Who knows? Who the fuck knows? Mike, God, and this little boy know. That's about it. That's about it. The only reason that I can even talk about this shit is because everybody is speculating. They all think he did it. And I don't think he did it. I'm alone in this. I don't think he did it. I'm not gonna say I don't think he did it. That's too strong. Let me just say I am reserving judgment until all the facts come out. But so far from what I heard, I mean, the kid said he was dying of cancer. He was in Make-A-Wish Foundation. He claims he had 2 weeks to live, and it was his dying wish to meet Michael Jackson. Come on, man, give me a fucking break. This kid is 10 years old. He don't remember Thriller. The fuck you want to meet Michael Jackson for, honestly? I remember Thriller, and I just, like, kind of want to meet this nigga. Like, I wouldn't break an appointment to meet him. I'll put it that way. I'd have to already be free. That's ridiculous. It's like if I'm dying in 2 weeks and go, oh, mama, get me in a room with Chubby Chocolate. I wouldn't want to meet that motherfucker. My last 2 weeks. Why not Usher or somebody like this? So then the kid claims he goes to Michael's house. This is where it all gets crazy. He does everything you'd expect at Michael's house. They climbed trees and rode roller coasters and Ferris wheels. The chef made cookies, pies, and cakes. They was petting a monkey and a giraffe, sang songs, kid shit. And in the middle of all this childlike activity, for some reason, Mike pulled out some wine and some pills and sucked his kid's dick. Folks, it hurts me to say it. And the kid had the nerve to call that abuse. Motherfucker, that is a good host. God damn, what else do you want? What else do you want? I'm lucky to get a glass of grape drink at my friend's house. Let alone a roller coaster ride and my dick sucked. Mike must be confused, like I brought you in my house, I fed you, I sucked your dick, and this is how you repay me, motherfuckers? This was your wish, not mine. Thought you were dying in 2 weeks. What happened to that, motherfucker? I've been in court for a year and a half. You get stronger every time I see you. This is fucked up. I shouldn't even say this fuck. Wouldn't it be some ironic shit if they found out through this case that the cure for cancer was Michael Jackson sucking your dick somehow? Like if Mike had powers like Green Mile and all the kids like, please, Mike, suck our dicks. Never again. He didn't appreciate it. Can we at least study your saliva? Please, Mike.
Oh my God. But there's a more important reason that I would stop doing comedy right now. And this reason is the real reason that's been percolating, and it really is the crowd, not you. I'm talking about the crowd on the big stage. It's too hard to entertain a country whose ears are so brittle. Motherfuckers are so sensitive, the whole country is turned into bitch-ass niggas. Everything you say upsets somebody. But motherfuckers are just taking it too far. I don't know why or how everybody got this goddamn sensitive. You know who hates me the most? The transgender community. Yo, yeah, these motherfuckers. I mean, I didn't realize how bad it was. These motherfuckers are really mad about that last Netflix special. It's tough, man. I don't know what to do about it because I like them. I always have. Never had a problem with them. You know, just fucking around. As a matter of fact, I think I make fun of everybody, and I mean, as a group of people, they have to admit, it's kind of fucking hilarious, man. I'm sorry, bro. It's like, I've never seen somebody in such a hilarious predicament not have a sense of humor about it. They're born feeling like there's something other than they're born as, and that's kind of funny, you know? I mean, it's funny if it's not happening to you. I believe transgenders. I don't understand them either, but I know they mean what they say. Them niggas cut their dicks off. That's all the proof I need. I've never seen somebody just throw their dick away. Don't need it. I don't understand, but I believe you and I support your decision, motherfucker. I was doing a show. I was in Portland, Oregon. And I was checked in a hotel under the name Charles Edward Cheese. I came back to my room late at night, and there was a note. It was like a letter on my desk. It was addressed to Mr. Cheese. So obviously, I'm going to assume that whoever wrote this letter must be an intimate friend of mine. This is not some kind of name that a person would just guess. But then I open the letter, and it turns out I don't know this person at all. It's a fan letter. You know, I'm not even used to the idea that I have fans, but I'm grateful for it. And I don't read those letters. Be nice if I did, but realistically, it's like, what am I, Santa Claus, nigga? I don't have time for this. Like, got shit I want to do. I'm trying to chill. Read all these dreams and wishes from strangers. But I read it. I'd already opened it. So I just read the whole letter. And you know what, man? Whoever wrote this letter truly loves me. I mean, they were really fucking nice in the letter. And then they described to me what it was like to come to the show, how excited they were, how much fun they were having. And then they said that when I got to my jokes about transgenders, that they were, quote, devastated. Because it turns out that whoever wrote the letter was transgender. Now, I'm going to be real for a second. As a policy, you got to understand, I never feel bad about anything I say up here. And I would never admit this to you if I hadn't locked your phones up. But it was the weirdest thing. Like, when I read this letter, this shit made me feel bad. I didn't feel bad about what I said, you understand? I felt bad that I made somebody else feel bad. To be honest, I don't even know what I said that upset that person. I have so many transgender jokes. But I feel like it was probably this joke I'm about to tell you right now. And it's not even that bad of a joke. It's a true joke. I mean, it's not true, but I had read in the paper that Caitlyn Jenner was contemplating posing nude in an upcoming issue of Sports Illustrated. And I know it's not politically correct to say these things, so I just figured, fuck it, I'll say it for everybody else. Yuck. You know, sometimes I just want to read some stats. I don't know why you're gonna cram some man pussy in the middle of the sports page like this. I just didn't think that was the place for it. But I wasn't saying anything like Caitlyn Jenner's a bad person. I'm not mad at her for doing it. Not even mad at Sports Illustrated. If I'm mad at somebody, I'm probably just mad at myself. You understand? Because deep down, I know that I am not strong enough to not look at those pictures. And I don't think I'm ready to see what she's trying to show me. So Caitlyn, goddamn it, if you go through with this thing, bitch, you better go hard or go home. I want you to go all the way. Hustler style. Do you know what hustler style means, miss? That means spread the lips. I hope she spreads her lips and there's an itty bitty dick inside. Ah! The show is behind the curtains. I don't know what I said that upset that person. You know, I can remember when it all started. It was when I was doing Chappelle show. When I was doing Chappelle show, I used to do the show, and then on the weekends I do like concerts and shit like that. So I'm doing a concert, and there was a couple in the front row, beautiful couple. The wife was obviously Asian. You could see it in her face. The husband, this motherfucker was mysterious, to say the least. Couldn't quite pinpoint where he was from. Caramel-colored fella, very nice hair, but he could have been from anywhere. Bangladesh, Mexico. I can't guess with a nigga like this. All I knew for sure about this guy is that his wife was a bitch. I could see that in her face, too. No, he was laughing and having a good time, and she was scowling at me at a goddamn comedy show. I couldn't figure it out. And then I realized at some point that she was pregnant, and I was smoking on stage. I said, oh my God, that's probably why she's mad. So I started to put my cigarette out, but then she hit me with one of them fake non-smoker calls. So I just kept smoking. I thought to myself, bitch, that babe will be fine, relax. And I tried to break the tension. I just asked her. That's all I said. I go, hey, where are you guys from anyway? And I could tell that she was on to me. She goes, very condescendingly, she says, I'm from California. If you're asking my ethnicity, I am Chinese. And her husband was just cool about the shit. He was like, I'm Mexican, bro. I said, well, I'm sorry if I offended you by asking. But you're a very beautiful couple. And miss, there's no question that you're gonna give birth to the hardest working baby this world has ever seen. That's not a bad joke. She got very upset. She got up to leave immediately, but she didn't just leave. She had to take one last dig at me on the way out. I will never buy one of your fucking DVDs again, Dave Chappelle. I said, ma'am, with all due respect, Chinese people don't buy DVDs. And the crowd went crazy. We were all laughing, having a good time. I didn't even think anything of it. And then just 3 days later, This lady sends a fucking letter to my promoter telling him not to book me for shows anymore because I was, quote, racist, and I'm quoting her, insensitive to the nature of my interracial marriage. I was like, word, bitch, I was. If she had just done a little bit of research, she would know that I myself am in an interracial marriage. That's right. In fact, my wife is Asian too. Surprise, bitch, I'll see you on Thanksgiving. But my wife's not Chinese. She's Filipino. That's right. And our kids are Puerto Rican somehow, so there you go.
The fact that we're seeing more Katt Williams is already making 2021 a lot better, man.
Doing good, thank you.
Well, hey, listen,
come on in, Billo.
There he is.
What up, baby?
Did you know how big of a fan that Billy is of you? That he's such a big fan that he has a tattoo of you actually
You
on
with
his
that
arm.
You with that again?
No, did you know that?
Hey, first of all, I'm gonna show it to you. That she's been saying this is you for the last few months. You know,
it's supposed to be Richard Pryor, but the artist flipped its hand a little bit.
I don't know if you can.
Well, it's good comedy in either way.
So, how has the last year been for you, my man? I know a lot of times, when the world is under pressure, man, that's when comedians get a chance to dive deep into themselves and really, put together something fantastic. I can't wait to hear, what your perspective has been, all the years' last events.
Absolutely. If you were a writer or a creative, then this period was a godsend because it just gave you the opportunity to really work out what it was you want your platform to be going forward. On the other hand, if all you did was steal from the originality of others and bite off of things that other people had going on, this was a treacherous period for you because nobody was putting out any content and there was nothing for you to steal from. And so in this time where it seemed like they should have been their funniest, they really couldn't pull anything out because these are not the originators to begin with. They didn't. You have to be willing to say something stupid to say something brilliant. And for writers, this was a great period to just get your ducks in order and to, for all of us, whether you're in the business or not, your relationships either disappeared or got stronger, whichever ones that you kept. And so we look forward to getting out and reestablishing these relationships. I personally haven't been able to go out to work yet because the arenas are just opening up. But as soon as the arenas are open, we're back on their necks again, and they're familiar with the pressure, and they know that it cometh forth.
How does it feel when people borrow, or what you would call it, borrow from you or steal from you? Because we just had this conversation with Billy, and he was saying that he would see certain things that was similar to things that he has done. Do you address those people or those things, or do you just let it go and it's just charge it to the game?
Well, when it initially happened to me, it crushed me just because the comedian was already bigger and more famous than me, and he took my closing joke and made it his closing joke on Kings of Comedy. The reason it hit so bad was that I was in the theater. I paid my money to go see Kings of Comedy, and to see my joke being there and not me was about as disrespectful as it gets in our craft. And I really took it really personally with Cedric the Entertainer at that time. Now, since then, I've done enough work with 10 comedy specials. You either have to write your own jokes or you're telling a variation of my joke, whether you acknowledge it or not. And so I care less. I just, it's a little saddening. You know what I'm saying? It's different when you have artists that sing a cover song and don't acknowledge So Sinead O'Connor has this whole thing where she talks about the terrible experience she had with Prince. But in honesty, what happened was he wrote her the song. And then when she goes to do interviews, she's talking in the interviews about what motivated the song and what was behind the song. You didn't write the song.
Right.
You didn't say what it meant or how it came about. And then he don't cuss, and she on the interviews cussing, and it was just weird. And then, but as artists, we have to understand that it either goes one or two ways. Either you are originally creating or you are borrowing bits and pieces. And the only problem is a lot of these comics, they only got famous in the pandemic. They just got hot. And a lot of them ain't gonna make it out the pandemic because there's no there. And part of legendary status is the amount of hurdles you make it over. You saying, "Oh, I didn't have to make no hurdles. I've been running track. I ain't hit a hurdle yet."
Nah, that ain't how that go at all, bro. And you know what's crazy, Katt? What you saying and about Cedric is like, did you ever get a chance to address him about that and him to clear it up with you and make that right?
I'm not that type of comedian. I'm going in your mouth where the joke is when you steal my jokes. And I have a reputation in this industry that if you steal my joke, you're going to be missing a tooth or two. I don't play that. But I do know that it does happen in our industry and that in other industries, there is recompense for if you steal a person's life work. And in ours, it's kind of the wild, wild west where people feel like they can do whatever they want to do. But, you know, you have to call it out when it happens and address it as it happens. But it's not a good thing for our business. But once we allowed people to not write their own stuff, and once we start acting like other people could write it for you, and once we start pretending that those things exist in comedy, they don't. It's a personal business. It's about you. And it's about you sharing that with your audience. So the comics that steal, they're funny for the moment, but there's no there. For those who write jokes, we understand as soon as you wrote one, you immediately started working on the next one. Yeah. And so if that is how you do your operation, then nobody taken from your operation can really hurt. Yeah.
Got you. Well, Katt, to unpack a little bit more on that, I mean, in music, sometimes it is frowned upon when you find out certain artists have ghostwriters. Now, in the comedy business, I've seen situations where like certain big name artists will have people like walking around writing behind everything that they say just to see what works, and then also have bought jokes.
They suck, and the people writing for them suck. That's why there's no longevity there. You knew they weren't as funny as you. How can taking their jokes propel you?
Right.
If they had great jokes, they'd be. And so there's no cheat of this business. Even if you find a cheat and a loophole, there is none. I could have been in a position to hire 5 guys to write for me, but then those 5 guys wouldn't have been able to be stars because I've taken their best material. Do you understand? So instead, I just put them on tour. Put them on tour and allow them to do their thing. Now, if you're a liar like D-Lay, you will say that Katt Williams ain't put you on tour because you too funny. That's a fallacy, boy. Everybody knows I put monsters in front of me, beasts in front of me. That's how you know that I am the beast.
Yeah. That's something that doesn't happen, bro.
And Bill Bellamy's sister wife should never speak upon Katt Williams with disdain or disgust in their voice simply because I wasn't offering PP along with my program. We have a comedy
program. Do you feel like that there was any comedian, like when you were in the stage of coming up and trying to get in the door, do you feel like there was any certain person or people that may have tried to hold you back? Because I know with comedians it's very cliquey and you guys kind of stick together whenever y'all rock with each other, but in the beginning I know it wasn't as easy.
No comedian put me on tour. No comedian took me around. No comedian helped. I was the helper of my incubator. Wow. So I'm saying My first special cost $22,000, and I made $25,000 that year. I paid for every special going through, from the writing to the producing to the picking what the stage is going to look like, to getting the wardrobe, to hiring the comedians, to getting the 18-wheelers, to taking the stuff from arena to arena. This was all part of one project. So me having the most specials of anybody breathing or dead is not accidental. Nobody believed in me but me, and that was enough. Why? Because the fan base believed in me. And when I say I have the most female comedians, they think it's all bragging, but I don't have to brag. I literally have never let go of the bag. Like, the bag is sufficient. All of my tickets are sold through Ticketmaster. So if you know anything about Ticketmaster, they actually do show you whose credit card, whose name on the card bought the tickets. So I have a 86% female audience base. It makes you unbeatable.
Yeah, we love you. The ladies love you, Katt.
Yeah.
They're all I love.
And here's the thing, like, you know, here we are once again finding yourself in a space that you do extremely well in, acting, right? So with the House Next Door, Meet the Blacks 2, you know, you're playing a really like interesting character, and it's crazy. Like, you thrive so well playing these off the beaten path people. I think it was the movie Father Figures. You wasn't in the movie super duper long, but stole the whole damn movie just off of just, you know, the couple scenes that you were in. Are you, you know, is this by design? Do you like to play people who are kind of off the beaten path because, like, you know, you connect to the characters, or do you look at it as a stretch?
Well, thanks for asking that. I don't have the background of training that most of my peers have. So I wasn't doing drama or plays in high school. I didn't go to high school. I didn't have a college career. I didn't get any training. So each of these roles is me becoming a better actor. And the reason that they want so many men in a dress is not for homosexual reasons primarily. That's supposed to be the direct opposite of you. And that's supposed to be acting. And so I try to find characters that are the direct opposite of my actual personality so that I can bring something to the table. So in Father Figures, I'm just playing a hitchhiker. I'm too big for that role. But if I can make that role breathe, it will add something. I'm playing a choir director that's not gay. He's just eccentric. I'm missing out on the big joke to do him weird, but this is a vampire. This guy is so far away from the real Katt Williams. He doesn't believe anything I believe. He's not from where I'm from. He doesn't have the same sensibilities. I love God. He loves the devil. This is the complete direct opposite of me. And for me, you know, that's when I'm really on acting skills. Now, even better than that, for example, since you brought up Father Figures, that's an opportunity for me to work with Owen Wilson and Ed Helms and Meryl Streep and J.K. Rowling. And there's no such thing as not being an all-star when you're on an all-star team. Mm-hmm. But because I can do that movie, that also means that I have to do The House Next Door, Meet the Blacks 2, because that's Mike Epps and Michael Blackson and Gary Owen and Little Duval and Brisha Webb and Zulat. Yeah. So again, a chance to be a high-level point guard for real shooters. And that's the position you want to put yourself in as many times as you can. Black production, a Black director, or a Black writer that is being done through Mike Epps Midwest Naptown Productions. That's how we help out. You know, most people are much too selfish and only worship the bag. But in real life, you either are helping your brother or you are tearing your brother down. And the help can happen quietly, and does.
Now, we recently just seen DC Youngfly. He was on stage and a person came up there and got a little out of hand. Now, we know you've had some incidents. Has there been anything, well, I know we've been in COVID, but has there been anything that stands out that maybe we have not heard about that might have happened while you were on stage performing?
I'm not sure what you mean, but I have 19 assault and batteries, and you've never seen me with a black eye. You have to be a child. Cat Williams loves to fight.
Do you feel like, but should there be a little bit more security for you guys on stage, because you are making fun of people? People do get in their feelings. There's drinks going, you know.
Here's the problem is, or what has been happening. The problem is how the media wants to present it. So they will say, yeah, so he fought his fan. His fan said F him, and then he hit him. How did you say that was a fan? Do you know what the word fan means? Nobody's fan has ever cussed them out or approached them right. or got on the stage. These are not one. These are a-holes, and a-holes exist everywhere. It's just that they don't understand that in our business, we're putting ourselves in harm's way. We're supposed to understand that if we do 3,000 shows, that means that mathematically, there should be a problem at 30 of them.
Wow.
That's just mathematics.
Yeah.
10% of the time is going. So I've done 16 100 city tours. So I'm saying I'm always in the wrong place at the wrong time. I always look like, look, the officer knows all the cars in this neighborhood. Whose $250,000 vehicle is this with smoke coming out of it? And why is it? And this is, so by the time they rough me up, that's when they find out who I am. So, you know, it's a whole different thing. As with boxing, you always have to keep your guard. And as comedians, we have to do that. They messed with the right one with DC, but these are things that happened, and it's not cute or sexy. It's not, he doesn't feel good because that happened, because, you know, you understand that these can take place at all times, and you're not in control of what people are on or the amount of security or none of that. At the end of the day, we're all dolo out here.
Right.
Bro, you were dolo on a specific night, and I'm gonna bring this up tonight, and this is something that I ain't talked about it nowhere else, but this is a funny memory. I'm literally with my ex-wife on Sunset Boulevard in LA, and you're coming down. It's about 2:30, right after Chocolate Sundays. You're coming down in your Phantom, and you stop on the brakes right by on the other side of the car. She getting in, and you say, "Hello, ma'am. I'm Katt Williams. Where are you going tonight?" And you had two women in the car. I said, I'm like, this is Katt Williams standing under the car. Like, this is happening in real time. You say, well, ma'am. She's like, well, I'm about to leave, and we about to get some. Well, if you see this car, there's always a seat in it for you. And this nigga blows off into the sunset with two women in the car. I was like, I got to get my money up. This nigga just rode past me in this car, and it was nothing I could do. We was in a Pontiac Sunfire, and I had probably $700 to my name, and it motivated.
Behind the car.
Yeah. She gave me that look like, if this nigga wasn't here right now, I would be definitely getting in this car. but bro, like, you were by yourself. You know, security wasn't no fleet. It was just you. So it's like the daringness and the boldness about that was like, huh?
Yeah, because the whole thing is we weren't out there trying to pick up your girl. We only care about where women are going and where women have decided. So all things good. If you want to know what's going on in the hood, ask somebody in a bonnet. If you want to know. And so we use that all across the country. Sorry that you fell into that crosshair.
It happens.
Hey man, hey, you helped Red Grant substantially, man, and along with Mark Curry, and that was the recent addition to the tour when I went and checked you guys out in New Orleans last. And I was just astonished at how you weren't holding the other comedians back. And as a guy, if I've taken out guys who were really funny in front of me, in your mindset, when you have a guy like Mark Curry, when you have a guy like a Red Grant that is opening for you, and there's no seeming of you trying to corral them to keep them in, what does that do for your psyche for when you are going out to do your time does that continuously feel like, does that really sharpen you more? Or are you at that point now where it doesn't matter what happens out there, your performance and presentation is going to be the same?
For 25 years, it was a norm in our business that the headlining comic must pick sucky comics to open up for him so that he looks like the big headliner. This is something that is a cancer to the business. You don't bring unfunny people to make you look funnier. That's bad for the fans. It's bad for you as an artist. It's bad for the business. It's just bad. And so I knew that as a hilarious comedian, most people wouldn't deal with me just because of that. And so I decided that I only want people around me that get standing ovations anyway. If I'm not the greatest of our time, then I won't be able to follow these people. Eventually, you'll understand that I'm really what I proclaim to be. And the way that you get bigger lifting weights is not by bringing the smallest weights and lifting them the least amount of times. The way that you get your weight up is by finding the biggest behemoths in comedy and really presenting it where not in front of an empty crowd, where they're dressed right, feel right. It's 10,000 people out there and they can really go be the best them. And regardless of how it has fared for me, it's been a great thing for business. And now everybody's had to jump on board. Now it's no big deal for five headliners to get together and have to, because we've been delivering that type of product to our fan base. They know I don't have an ego. I want the funniest comics for the best audience, and I have the best audience, so I bring the best comics, and together we present the best show. And everyone who didn't get aboard with that has suffered and lost. And that's why none of these big famous comedians can really show you who they put on, because who they put on would have been organically. But there's no there. So it was necessary for me to be open and for me to have Melanie Camacho and Miss Pat and Leslie Jones and Linnell. And it was necessary for me to have Red Grant and Mark Curry and Zooman Miller. It was necessary for me to have the people that I've had opening, because that's what services my audience. My audience wants the best of the best, and that's what I am determined to bring them every tour.
Have a strong connection to music, right? So you have your relationship with Snoop. You also was a part of the Diplomats at one point in time with Cam. So one thing that we seen trending recently was Rap Caviar. They did their Mount Rushmore of the 4 greatest artists of the time. So if you was to say right now today who your Mount Rushmore would be, who would be your 4 comedians that you would put on that Mount Rushmore?
Well, you have to understand that the Mount Rushmore that Rap Caviar did was very specific. They, I believe they said from the 2000s to now.
Yeah, they was 2010. So I mean, like for today, who would you say today is?
Got it. No comment. No comment. Just because it's fair in rap and it makes sense, but in comedy, it's a little more nuanced than that. And I would feel badly if it wasn't 2 men and 2 women. That makes sense.
Right.
I understand.
I would need it to be that complete.
What about an all-time?
I was going to say that I would also need it to be white and black as well. I would also need it to be black and brown as well. So 4 is probably not enough slots. I say that to say we've had a lot of great comedy, and we've been blessed with a lot of greatness coming out of comedy. Not coming out of drama, not coming out of horror, not coming out of reality, coming out of comedy, our lane. And we've had so many people come out with this lane and take over the world and be the greatest. And yet it's still the bastardized side of Hollywood. We'll do whatever, we'll do any action movie, but comedy not so much, when it's really the bread and butter of our whole entertainment existence, and has been since the invention of television. So I know 4 female comics that could go on that Mount Rushmore, and I wouldn't feel bad about their names being there. I could put Monique, Linnell. My point is, I could fill this up with every category of comedian, because we have that many great comedians out there still today. I'm saying I could have Patrice O'Neal, Dave Chappelle, Richard Jenny, and Lenny Bruce on there and still be as correct as I wanted to be. I could put so many names there and they would fit. But it's not fair because comedy's not fair just yet.
Before you roll, my brother, let's just say if somebody woke up out of a coma and you had to recommend 3 of your specials, which 3 would you recommend, in what order?
Well, I would say, first of all, thank you for choosing me. And I will also say that you can close your eyes and pick any 3 of my 10 specials, because the truth of the matter is, every single time I tried as hard as I could. I walked on the stage completely dry and well put together, and left a sweaty mess. And you know, they use me sweating on stage to talk crazy about me. But the truth is, I'm one of the few comedians that doesn't wear makeup on stage, thanks to my eczema. So sometimes it looks a little funny when he's so sweaty out there, but he's really just working for the ladies, and the ladies like the sweat, and so he does that. So you can watch any of be catching authentically 100% from the rooter to the tutor, and I appreciate your fanship.
We are the morning hustle.
Solomon, black man, election manager, Ambazonian with the vote. For the election don't come. Yes, as we the vote we go. For true, they say they will be Tino. Now there we go. By election to heaven, all my win the photo, many don't win the vote. For the sake of the gospel, brother, we go suffer, we go. As the election don't go, we must vote. As we the vote, we go. Oh yes, brother, when we go to you, now you don't win the vote. Look, you don't lost the vote, Say I don't win the vote. Yes. Now God don't give me the vote, oh brother. My enemies they will shame. For true. Look, you don't lost the vote, Yes. Say I don't win the vote. Now God don't give me the vote, oh brother. My enemies they will shame. As the election don't come, we go vote. As we the vote, we go. Okay, brother, when we go to you, now you don't win the vote. Now your flag, the fly, the go so. My flag, the jubilee, they see. Now God don't give you the photo, brother. Your enemies, they go shame. Oh yes, I go to pop champagne, go. Okay. appreciate all your faithfulness. From north to south, the Amazonian population, I say high five. You have win the vote. I welcome you all, Amazonians. God bless you.